There was 20 IRS agents armed with ARs that stormed this guy's store.
Welcome back, everyone. My name is Mike, and today we are talking about another government overreach, assisted in this case by the ATF, but not surprising in any way that the ATF was there, also assisted by some local police, which we will talk about. So, a gun store in Great Falls, Montana was raided by the IRS. Long story short, gentleman shows up for work, the owner, to open the shop, and is greeted by a minimum of 20 fully kitted out, wearing body armor, guns, long guns on slings, IRS agents. So that's how IRS agents are greeting American citizens who own gun shops these days. He was also rather met by armed ATF agents dressed in a similar fashion. After that, he was met by the local police department dressed in a similar fashion. Why? Because he was under investigation for the from the IRS rather, for tax fraud. They wanted to go in there and seize his record. Now, again, as I just mentioned, there's one person that was going in there to open the gun shop, and all of these men, armed the way they were waiting for him. That does a lot of things. It sends a message for one, and certainly is a message of intimidation. But let's get into the details because it just continues to get worse as we go along. And I'm just going to read through an article here that I will have linked down below. Some highlights, not the whole thing, obviously. Although the Montana Department of Justice claimed no involvement in the incident, an IRS spokesman confirmed their presence at the Highwood Creek Outfitters but refrained from providing their details. The article also states that the ATF and IRS were contacted about why they were there by a local radio station trying to do a report on it, and they would not answer why they were there. Now again, the ATF and the IRS are government employees. A local journalist calling up to figure out why they were there should be a pretty simple answer, I would say. But of course, the government feels that they are not responsible to citizens anymore, and this is the kind of thing they do, and they just blow off the journalists. So First and Second Amendment, nah, we're good. We're the government. We don't need that. And then it goes on to say that the recent incident has attracted political attention, with Congressman Matt Rosendale expressing his concern over the IRS and ATF's actions. And I will be rolling in here a letter that was written by several congressmen to the ATF demanding to know why they did what they did, and the bullet points in the letter are important. The one that I'm going to focus on here for this video, because of our audience, of course, is going to be that the IRS agents seized over 4,000 4473s, according to the report. So 4473, for folks that don't know, is the background check form that you have to do when you're when you're buying a firearm from a licensed FFL or a gun store in America. Those records contain the gun that you purchased and all of your address and personal information, phone number, sometimes social security number, it just depends. And as we've mentioned many times in this channel, the federal government is prevented by multiple laws from maintaining any type of gun registry. It's completely legal in America, yet we know the ATF has one, and they've been maintaining it and updating it for years. Now, did the IRS go there and seize these documents with the intent of sharing them with the ATF? What are they doing with the documents? Because for those that don't know, if this is a tax investigation, which the IRS is claiming it is now after this article was written, they did come out and say that it was a tax investigation, then why are they getting 4473s? 4473, if you don't know, doesn't have anything on there that would be at all pertinent to tax information. Like, there's not the sale price or anything like that of a firearm that could show margin of profit or anything like that. There's literally nothing on that form that in any way, shape, or form would show anything relating to tax fraud. It's absolutely irrelevant. And did the ATF prompt the IRS to seize them? I don't know. Are they being scanned somewhere? Maybe, because the documents that, well, most of the laws rather, that ban the government from having a registry ban it, specifically the ATF, from doing so. I don't know that there's one in place that bans the IRS from doing so. So I have no idea what's going on there, but taking a look at that letter, again, it's a well-written letter by a politician, which rarely do I ever give them any credit, but that one's worded correctly, and hopefully they hold these people accountable. And the letter also addresses something that I talked about on social media, I believe a month ago, where a very similar incident happened in the largest gun store in America, which is in Georgia. Now, at that time, when it happened, two congressmen, I believe, and a local politician as well, showed up to figure out what the heck was happening. But in both instances, the ATF showed up with enough agents, all kitted out, of course, because an ATF agent can't just show up with, a handgun on his side and go through an investigation. You can't do that like a normal law enforcement officer would, in America pre-global war on terrorism. They have to be fully kitted up. to inspect documents at a peaceful place of business. But anyway, at that incident as well, they fully shut down the gun store while it was going on. The same thing happened during this instance here in Montana. The gun store was shut down while the incident was going on, depriving the lawful business owner of running a business for that day, and of course all of the income that you would make that day. Obviously, I'm sure he was still paying staff, paying electricity. He's not going to be reimbursed for it. The same thing happened with the gun store in Georgia. So is this a pattern of intimidation by weaponized alphabet agencies? It looks like it. I really don't see any reason to think otherwise. And of course, another key note there in the article is that the local police were assisting in providing security, perimeter security for this investigation. Again, we have at least 20 armed IRS agents, armed ATF agents, and then we need local police to secure the perimeter of a law-abiding citizen's lawful business. That's insane. And everyone who's out there like, oh, I back the blue. All these guys that I'm referencing here, these are the blue. They are violating the Constitution. They're violating their oaths of office. And obviously they need to be held accountable, which is why I'm doing this video, to generate attention to it. If you guys learned something here, if this upsets you, share the video, because the more light we can shine on this, hopefully it will act as disinfectant. So with that, I will close the video out. If you guys aren't subscribed and you like this type of video, unfortunately I expose this type of corruption often on the channel because it happens wide out in the open every day here in America, and we have to talk about it. Unfortunately, I wish I didn't. So definitely hit the subscribe button if you like it, and you've not subscribed. If you are subscribed, double check, because everyone's getting unsubscribed these days. Who knows why? And then additionally, if you guys are subscribed, you're not seeing 2 to 4 videos a week here on the channel, make sure you sign up for my email list at the website here on your screen. It goes out once a month. It has all the videos since the previous month's email went out, so that way you aren't censored from my content. And additionally, we have a daily deals email. It's fire. Everybody loves it. It has 6 to 8 of the best deals around the internet that we find on guns, ammo, optics, whatever the case may be. Anything that I talk about here on the channel is going to be in there in terms of categories. And if it's in that email, it's the cheapest that I know of anywhere on the internet on that particular day. So that way, hopefully it saves you guys some time and saves you some money as well. And with that, we'll close the video out. Thank you all for watching. I truly appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing everybody in the next video.